You may still be enjoying that leftover pumpkin pie, but as 2018 inches closer, many of you are dreaming of treating yourself to a slimmer you. If you tried to lose weight in the past, but you just couldn't make it stick, our next guest may be able to help. Back with her Total Transformation program is doctor and chiropractic physician, Kathleen Nash. Hello.
Hi, JJ. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great.
Good.
You've been with us many times, Dr. Nash.
Yeah.
You have a way of explaining how certain changes in the body can actually prevent us from losing weight and keeping it off.
Yeah.
What are those changes?
Yeah, so that occurred because of a direct result of information I found out about my own body and applied to myself. And I found that there are very specific things that if they've gone awry inside the body, you're not going to be able to lose weight even with eating less and moving more. And so the one that we wanted to talk about today was the one that affects the hormones, which is something called parasympathetic eating.
Yes, parasympathetic eating.
Yeah, it's a hard one to say.
Yes, it is. It's a little tough. I had to Google it and learn what it is. What is it?
So basically, parasympathetic eating is eating in an emotional or an agitated state. So the parasympathetic nervous system is the one that controls the fight or flight response. But what we don't realize is that we float in and out of that state many times through the day, whether that's having a hard time at work, whether that's having a stressful home life. It could even be triggered by something like watching a horror show or just being exposed to violence or being exposed to any kind of negative emotion.
It's stress, isn't it?
It's stress.
When you're in that stressful
Right.
zone.
Absolutely, it's stress. And so the body will create certain physical and hormonal changes when it's in that state. And what we're not aware of is that those physical changes, if you're eating in a parasympathetic state, you can't lose weight. You're literally programming the body to store and gain anything you're eating.
Really?
Anything.
It's interesting because some people say that you lose weight when you're going through a very stressful period, but actually the opposite is true.
Right. So some people when they respond to stress, they won't eat. And that, they're not eating at all. They're just, they lose their appetite. But many of us, especially if you hear the phrase comfort food or comfort eating, that's technically what you're doing is you're eating in an agitated state. But the problem is that agitated state creates something called adrenaline, which triggers cortisol. And cortisol is going to dump all the food that you're eating into body fat, particularly around the middle.
Ah,
yeah.
So it's a very unstrategic time to eat.
Yeah, absolutely. But the problem is we're floating in and out of it all the time. We're absolutely unaware that it's happening.
So interesting. And how, if people are suffering from this, you have a checklist so that they can know.
Yeah, so one of the things that they could do is they could look on the checklist. We're putting it on the screen at some point to show people when they want to pay attention to when they're eating. So if there's somebody that talks about comfort foods, if there's somebody that talks about comfort eating, if there's somebody that's in a stressful state a lot of the times, that's going to trigger that parasympathetic state, and especially if they're seeing that they're gaining weight around the middle. That's one of the core things that they're going to see.
Oh my gosh, where so many people do gain weight.
Right, and it's dangerous.
Before we go to a example of a recent client success, let's just go back for a moment. We skipped over your before and after picture.
Oh, sure.
Because it's very relevant to note that you yourself struggled with weight.
My whole life. My whole life. So I was fat when I was 8 years old, and that was at a time when kids really weren't, right?
Aww.
And so, so you're like one of the only few ones in the school that's overweight, right?
Right.
And everything I would try would work a little bit, but it was always temporary. It would never stay off. And that's a core thing that I hear from my clients all the time, that whether they're eating less or moving more, either they see little result or it comes right back. And that's usually the body telling you that something else is going on inside. So once I figured out what my issues were, I lost 80 pounds. And that was over 8 years ago now that I've kept it off. Yeah, and that's the same kind of results we get for our clients.
I'm so happy for you. Speaking of your clients, we are going to hear from a client right now named Dion.
Dion, yeah.
The best part about Dr. Nash's program isn't the 17 pounds that I lost in 30 days. It's the fact that I was able to reverse a sugar addiction, and I did it without exercising.
Yay!
Yeah, right, no exercise, but it's that sugar addiction. That's another common thing that we see in the parasympathetic eating, is you're craving something that's going to stimulate you or calm you down, and that's usually sugar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sean and I were talking about sugar addiction this morning, actually. Oh. Your book, 7 Secrets Doctors Don't Want You to Know About Losing Weight Permanently.
Yes. So I recently wrote that book, and it's a free gift that I like to give anybody who's looking at doing a weight loss evaluation with me. I know that this is a kind of a different approach. It's not just calorie calories in, calories out, and they want more information. So when they do the evaluation with me, one of the things I want to do is give them extra information, and so the book is part of that.
Hey, you know what? When you're struggling with weight, as much information as you can get, take it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Take all the help you can get. Absolutely. All right. Where do we go for more info?
Yeah. So normally having an evaluation with me costs $97 because it's intensive, right? It's one-on-one. But if they mention that they saw me on the Morning Blend, then I will reduce it down to less than $10. They get the evaluation, they get 2 webinars that explain a lot of what I do. They get the book, they get the radio interview, and they get an opportunity to find out what specifically is going on inside of them that's not letting them lose the weight and keep it off.
You know what? This is a whole holiday weight loss package.
Yes.
Yes. It's a $9.97 gift to yourself.
Yes, you got to put your money into other things for the holidays. Yes.
Yes. You can do it, folks. Again, mention that you saw Dr. Nash on the Morning Blend. The standard consultation fee is only $9.97, in addition to what you're seeing right there on your screen. Dr. Nash's office is located on Horizon Ridge Parkway near Valley Verde in Henderson. For more information, give her office a call or visit her website. Total Transformation is a proud sponsor of the Morning Blend.